I think our agenda-wise, we'll discuss that challenge this morning. And then this afternoon, hopefully, we can get into some specifics on how we campaign, what we do, the different roles we can all play within our unions. And I think Maritime, and when I talk about Maritime, it's everyone at this table, because we all play a part in that. And with this particular agreement, as you'll see when we talk about it, I think Maritime now has an opportunity to be the leaders in dealing with this and coming out in support of our members. And it can't just be a union issue that we talk about today. It's a worker issue. It's a jobs issue. And I think because we're all trade unionists, and because the nature of what we do is represent our people and represent the workers across the country, we have to have that united voice coming out of here today in order to make sure that that job carries on. I blame myself a little bit for what's taken place, because sometimes as trade unionists and as unions, we get complacent. We don't act on things until it is maybe too late sometimes. I don't think this particular issue is too late. I think it's come to us late, but we can still deal with it. But the days of complacency for our industries and for our unions and for our members is over. It's time for us to be proactive. It's time for us to put our differences, whatever they may be, aside and work towards one common goal. And that's to make sure we protect the jobs in Canada for Canadians first and foremost, with what we have and the infrastructures that we have in place. I like a good fight, and this is going to be a good fight. Trade unionists, we've never backed down from one. The old saying, and I told my members yesterday, we don't like a fight, but we don't mind to bleed. And that's how our particular union is going to approach it, and I look forward to hearing how your particular unions and locals and everything else, how we can support each other. It affects us right now with the ships, but believe me, and I think we all know, it will affect the ports down the road, and it will affect all of the logistics chain, because that is the catchphrase. Words like liberalization of ports keep coming up in this document. Cabotage, it started out as empty containers, it moved into dredging, and then it moved into the movement of containers and bulk cargoes. And they've thrown in terms like that we have to figure out what they mean, I think, basically today, is continuation of international cargoes. Exactly what does that mean, coming in and out? Is that going to catch everything? Is that going to mean that our grain cargoes from Thunder Bay, if they're coming down out of Thunder Bay, being offloaded in Port Cartier and then loaded back on a foreign ship, are they going to class that as a pre-existing international voyage or part of a continuation of an international voyage? And we have to look at how this is going to affect cabotage laws around the world. We've had the opportunity to speak to some of the unions in the EU through the ITF, through the ETF. They are right now trying to strengthen their cabotage laws at a time when ours are being taken away and weakened. As we talk about the document, you will see what was presented to the U.S. in their trade agreement, their negotiations. The language on taking away our cabotage that the Canadian government accepted is the exact language that the U.S. negotiators refused outright. It was simply changed from the United States to Canada. And in talking, we were in Washington, was it a week ago, Dan? And we met with some of the people that were involved in the negotiations on the U.S. side. And we met with some of the representatives from the Jones Act Coalition. They have very great concerns because they see this as Canada agreeing, and it's going to be used as a bargaining chip by the EU to chip away at the Jones Act. And that will further affect everyone here at this table.